Hey everyone, welcome to a really slow, really nervous system friendly class today. It's going to be, I hope, about 10 minutes. As a shift worker for 7-8 years now in emergency services, I designed this class specifically for you all in mind who are potentially coming home from a night shift. Maybe it was stressful, maybe you were carrying a lot of literal weight on your body, or maybe there was a lot of weight you were also holding mentally. And sometimes it feels really hard to get home in the morning or whenever it is, to be honest, and you have to let go of all of that, and then you have to either go straight to bed if you're on night shift, or you have to reintegrate with your normal life. So yeah, I know it can be challenging. I know it can feel like you should go do, a strong workout or whatever it is. But to be honest, the best thing you can do for your body and your nervous system is to do something really calming, really soothing, keeping the lights really low, especially if you're about to go to sleep. Rather than trying to sort of re-energize, we want to come down. We want to find breath, find body. So we're going to come into a little stretch for the feet to begin, get it over with very early. Again, I know a lot of you would have been on your feet probably the whole shift, maybe in uncomfortable shoes. My work gave me plantar fasciitis, I'm pretty convinced. So you're going to tuck your toes under and then sit your weight back to your heels. Now, for some of us, this is too much. So I really want to make sure your big toes are fully tucked under. We're going to be stretching that whole line underneath the big toe all the way to the heel. It can be gross, is probably the appropriate word. Now, if this is too much, weight forward in your hands. You're still sitting your weight back. You're still really thinking about heels back and down, but you're taking a lot of that pressure, a lot of that weight from the body out of the feet. This is a great one to do regularly if you're wearing particular shoes to work that aren't like super comfortable or great for your feet. I know some of you would have choice with your shoes, some of you will not. So over time, you might think about sitting your weight back. Try to close the eyes. Get this over with at the very beginning because it is not pleasant, and we can just settle into the nice stuff. Let's go for another 3 breaths. Try to relax your jaw, relax your face. Last one, big breath in. Big breath out. Taking the weight back into the hands, slowly untuck your toes. Maybe a little tap of the tops of feet on the ground. And sit your weight back to your heels once again. Find yourself leaning back a little bit more, shoulders over hips. Notice the sensations in the feet. Big breath in. Big breath out. Once you're ready, we're going to find our way to our downward facing dog. So hands are going to come out in front of you, about shoulder width apart or a little bit wider, tucking your toes, lifting your hips up and back towards the ceiling. So for those of you who are familiar with this shape, feel free to just land. If you're not, I want you to think bending your knees a lot. Then I want you to use the bend of your knees to think about your hips are lifting up and back. So imagine someone has their pinky fingers or their hands in your hip creases. They're dragging your hips up and back towards the back of the room, and you're helping that sensation by pushing into your hands, letting the shoulders lift up away from the back pockets. Back of the neck is long, so you're not looking at your hands, you're not looking at the ground underneath you, you're looking back, maybe towards your toes. Big breath in. Big breath out. One more. Inhale, lengthening the hamstrings. Big breath out. We're going to take our hands for a walk all the way to our toes, back of mat. Soften your knees a lot again. I really want you to not worry about, we're not trying to lengthen the hamstrings so that we can touch our toes. We're not trying to prove anything here. Bend the knees a lot. So you can sort of fold in half from the hips here. And you might hang on to the opposite elbow, really let the upper body hang and dangle. Back of the neck is long. So you want to think the crown of the head is reaching for the ground rather than your gaze reaching to the ground. Feeling in this shape, the lower back lengthen. Again, if we've been sitting a lot, whether it's driving around, if we've been standing a lot with gear on, there's a lot of load in the low spine. So let this kind of feel like it's pulling out, the same way like a hang would on a bar, for example. Let this do it in the opposite direction, so dragging you down towards the ground. Take a breath in. And a big breath out. Releasing the elbows, slowly roll your way to stand. One vertebrae at a time, chin to chest. As you get to the top, a little roll the shoulders back and forth. And again, I want you just to land in your feet for a moment. Close down the eyes if you're comfortable. If you're not comfortable, just keep the gaze low, the eyelids heavy. I just want us to gently start to take the weight left to right in the feet. I want your body to remember where it is in space. So sometimes we do this work when we're heading into balances or when we're going to be trying to get the body to land on one leg. But did you know that you are encouraged to massage babies when they're really little to remind them where their body ends and the world begins? Sort of what I want us to do here. I know sometimes when we have a really full-on shift, sometimes you can feel really disconnected from your own body. So let's just notice the weight transfer left to right. Notice the sensations. Notice where your feet begin, the mat begins. And then settle yourself back in center. Big breath in. Big breath out. And let's take a chin to chest. Let the shoulders round forward and then slowly roll all the way back down. Let's come back to that downward facing dog where we started. So walk the hands back out. Just find that position one more time. Big breath in. Big breath out. Let's drop the knees. Come to stand on your knees so you can step your right foot forward into a low lunge. So you want to think kind of 90-90. Once you get there, a little hug in of the belly, a little squeeze of your left glute. You might bring your hands to your right knee. And then you might just let yourself soften a little bit further into your lunge. So we're not coming super deep here, but you want to think about opening that whole front line of your left leg. So again, depending what we've been doing, lots of sitting is going to be really compressive through the hip flexors. So as we squeeze the glutes, we're waking up the glutes again. They don't do a lot when we sit. And we're opening up the front of our left hip. Left hip. Now we can continue that and work into the side waist a little bit as well. As reaching left arm to the sky, I want you to hug your belly in, and then right elbow lands to right thigh as you lean over towards the left. And I want you to think about leaning to the right. Left rib cage is pulling to the left, and your right rib cage is kind of pushing the left rib cage out as you take your left arm up and over. And I want you to squeeze your left glute a little bit more and feel your whole side body lengthen. Big breath in. Big breath out. Come back through center. We're going to bring both hands to the ground as we straighten our front leg any amount. Now I have very tight hamstrings, so please don't look at my shape as what you're trying to achieve in the end goal. If you have more space in your legs, your hamstrings, you can straighten out a little bit more. Big breath in. Big breath out. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Rebend through right leg. Plant the hands, tuck the left toes, lift the left knee, step right foot all the way back. Down dog one last time, then bend the knees so we can come into that on the other side. Stand up onto the knees, stepping left foot forward. A little bit of a squeeze into right glute, belly's on. Big breaths. Just noticing yourself, your thoughts, your nervous system settling back into the body. Maybe you're staying here, maybe right arm is reaching. Again, think about shoving your left rib cage over towards the right to help you feel like you're creating a big banana shape in the right side waist. Big breath in. Big breath out. One more. Slowly lift back up through center. Bring the hands down, straightening through your left leg. Again, any amount, does not have to get straight. But if you have more space than me, you're very welcome to fold a little deeper or straighten your left leg a little bit more. Long breath in. Big breath out. Rebend through the left leg, plant the hands, tucking the right toes, lifting the right knee so you can step back to your high kneeling position, just so you can sit all the way back down onto your glutes and then all the way down onto your back. Once you arrive, hug the knees to chest. Maybe a little sway side to side, letting the back body lengthen. Let's place the left foot down. Right ankle is going to cross over left thigh. Coming into our figure four, stretching the glutes. You can stay here. You can hug your left thigh in towards your chest a little bit more. You might sway. You might find stillness. I think so often we're told in yoga to be still. I think a lot of people who tell us to be completely still, potentially don't have a whole lot of stress, trauma, whatever it is, circling around. If your nervous system, if you don't feel safe, sort of energetically being still, find movement. Don't worry about it. Placing left foot down, hugging right knee in, extending left leg long, so you can take your right knee across the body into your spinal rotation. Think about right shoulder heavy. Right knee might touch the ground, it might not. You might cactus your right arm if you don't have space to have it long beside you. Letting it ring out through the spine. Expanding through the chest, shoulder. Come back through center. We'll switch sides. Left ankle crosses right knee. Maybe hugging right thigh in, right shin in. Again, stillness or a little bit of movement if that makes you feel more comfortable. It can sometimes also just feel nice to move, to have little different sort of pulls in the muscle and get opening in a slightly different way. Taking a big breath in. Big breath out. Placing right foot down, hug the left knee in, taking left knee across the body into your rotation. Slowly coming back through center. Now you might stay laying down, or you might come up to a seat. Just finish with a few rounds of breath together. Another really helpful thing you can do for yourself is to just come back to your breath. So I want you to think about just taking an inhale here. Complete exhale. Inhale nice and slow for 4, 3, 2, 1. Release for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep going just like that. You can extend it out to 6 if you feel comfortable. I think sometimes when we force it to be too long, it can make us feel stressed. Or sometimes when we have holds at the top or the bottom, it can sometimes not make us feel super in control. So really just seeing what works for you. So I like to start with 4, in and out. Use that to let me settle into the body. Just allow for a deeper breath, a focused breath. And you might stay with this for as long as you need to. But whenever you're ready, taking a big breath in and a big sigh out. Thank you so much for joining me, whether you are post-shift, whether you just saw a 10-minute little stretch. But I will see you soon. Thank you so much.